Courtrooms are places of order, respect, and justice. They are not designed for laughter, sarcasm, or playful arrogance. Yet every so often, a defendant enters with an attitude that shocks everyone present. In this case, a young woman walked into the courtroom with the kind of energy that immediately set her apart. Instead of nervousness or remorse, she carried herself with entitlement. Her posture was casual, her smirk unwavering, and her eyes seemed to challenge the authority of the court from the very beginning. Many defendants walk in understanding the seriousness of their situation, but this one believed the moment belonged to her, as if the trial was just another stage for her performance. As the charges were read out, her reactions were less than respectful. She rolled her eyes, tapped her fingers, and muttered under her breath as though she were inconvenienced by even being there. The bailiff noticed, the audience noticed, and most importantly, the judge noticed. Judges are trained to pick up on every detail, body language, tone, and attitude, because those subtle actions often reveal more about a defendant than their words ever could. And in this moment, the young woman's every gesture screamed one thing: arrogance. When asked a simple, straightforward question, she delivered not an answer, but a sarcastic response. Instead of showing humility, she tilted her head, raised her eyebrows, and mocked the entire process. She even had the audacity to say, "Is this really necessary?" in a tone that dripped with disrespect. Her voice was not trembling, not nervous, but sharp and dismissive, as though she was above the law and above the judge presiding over her case. That one sentence created a ripple across the room. Some gasped quietly, others exchanged shocked glances, and the judge froze for a moment, taking in what had just happened. For a brief second, it seemed like the young woman thought she had won control of the room. She even let out a little laugh under her breath, as though nothing could touch her. But what she didn't realize was that this was the exact moment she had crossed a line that could never be uncrossed. Judges may have patience, but their patience is not infinite. Courtrooms are not playgrounds, and mocking a judge is like lighting a match in a room full of gasoline. The reaction will be swift, powerful, and unforgettable. The judge, maintaining an air of calm authority, leaned forward slightly. The quietness in the room became heavy, almost suffocating. Then, with firm precision, the judge addressed her. "Excuse me? Do you think this is a joke?" The words cut through the silence like a blade. The young woman's smirk flickered, but she quickly tried to recover, still holding on to her arrogance. What she didn't know was that her fate had already shifted in that very moment. With measured authority, the judge made a decision that would leave the defendant stunned. Her bond was raised. Her legal situation instantly became more complicated, and every ounce of sarcasm, every smirk, every dismissive comment had just cost her dearly. The courtroom gasped again, and for the first time, the young woman's face showed something other than arrogance. Her smirk disappeared, her eyes widened slightly, and her posture changed. The shift was immediate. The entitled brat who thought she could outsmart the system was suddenly faced with the weight of real consequences. The judge did not stop there. They used this opportunity to deliver a clear message. Respect is not optional in the court of law. Disrespect, mockery, and arrogance have no place in front of the bench. The young woman who once entered with her head held high and a smirk on her lips now sat quieter, smaller, and visibly shaken. She had learned the hard way that the courtroom is not a stage for attitude. It is a place where lives are decided, where freedom is weighed, and where respect is mandatory. As the proceedings continued, her earlier confidence was gone. She no longer laughed. She no longer rolled her eyes. Instead, she lowered her head and responded in short, quiet sentences. The lesson was clear, not only to her, but to everyone watching. Disrespecting the court and taunting a judge is a gamble you will never win. She had entered thinking she was untouchable, but she left humbled, her ego crushed in front of everyone present. In the end, this was not just about one woman's charges. It was about the universal truth that no matter who you are, how confident you feel, or how clever you believe your words might be, there is one rule you cannot escape: the authority of the court. And when that authority is challenged, the response will be swift, firm, and unforgettable. The young woman who once thought she could taunt the judge walked away with more than just legal consequences. She walked away with her pride shattered and a hard-earned lesson that will stay with her forever.